Hello and welcome to another Cereal Box Reviews. And today we are talking about the 2002 or 2003, depending on what source, film Zero Day, directed by Ben Cocchio. I'm just gonna say Coco. Ben Coco, the Coco Man himself. Uh
Joey Diaz.
yeah. Uh, and this film came out in 2002. I think it was made in 2002, but came out in 2003. Whatever. It's a movie about so it's not really about, but it was slightly based off of um Columbine, but not really because the characters are have different names. It's not the same thing, but it pretty much is Columbine, but not really. It's a found footage movie. This came out short, well, shortly both. It came out shortly after both Columbine and The Blair Witch, which both happened in 1999, and yeah, so this movie, so it's a found footage movie. So the found footage is it's from the perspectives of the shooters. It's supposed to be their home videos, and then yeah, so it's their home videos. And yeah, that's pretty much the movie. The so like kind of the concept of the movie, it's loosely based off of Eric and Dylan's basement tape home videos, which have never seen the light of day, but yeah, it's based off of that. And so um yeah, and this movie uh it stars these two guys named Andre and Cal, which play the two shooters, which uh is their real names, and also majority of the cast in this movie, like oh yeah, pretty much everybody in this movie went by their real names and their real parents, and everybody like in their life, real people were in this movie and they played themselves pretty much. And yeah, so that's the movie, like that's the basic gist of the movie. And this movie's kind of very interesting for its time because uh yeah, it's not, the first found footage movie or anything, but it was pretty unique compared to a lot of other found footage movies, which are mostly horror based. And also um this isn't the first Columbine based movie, but it's probably the first serious one because there was that Duck the Carbon High Massacre, which came out literally, I think they started filming like 3 months after it happened or something. And but this one's serious, and yeah, and it's one of the first. And in in this movie too, I think it was pretty ballsy that they made this movie like not very long after it happened. And also too, it makes it interesting that this movie was made uh like way before mass shootings and things were the norm. Like I mean, if you would have made this movie now, and now there's movies like The Dirties and Spree, but if you were to make this movie now, uh I don't know. I don't think a lot of people would like really think much of it. Even nowadays, we have fucking a lot of shooters have live streams their shootings and stuff. So yeah, it's not, yeah. So I don't think people would flinch if they see, if this movie came out today. But um, yeah. So it's a very interesting movie. And yeah. Uh, so what did you think of this movie?
Well, I think that shootings and you know especially shootings perpetrated by young people, um, is an area that's weirdly undertapped in current like filmmaking. There's obviously some like stronger examples, like I barely count the dirties. I've never seen the dirties. But you know, Spree, which has lost some luster for me since I first watched it. I know my first rating of it was very popular or fucking
Well, this movie too,
positive.
not to interrupt, but this movie
No.
too is more grounded than those movies. Like those
Mm.
movies are more like movies.
I appreciated that about it. I
Yeah.
did. I think that despite all the general outcry or whatever, or I guess however much it's doled, certainly, despite all the like outcry from like any political group, pretty much, um, it's had a very like small presence in like American, and as far as I can tell, abroad cinema, despite being like so strongly ingrained in like public consciousness. There is like the Joker or whatever, which kind of sort of touches on that in a general sense,
Yeah.
but it doesn't explore young people doing it because what's the general age range? I could just be pulling this out of my ass, but I think it's like mostly under 30, isn't it?
Or
That changed.
for what do you mean for like the demographic?
For shooters.
Oh, shooters, yeah, like under 30.
Yeah, it's largely young people doing it, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But the only real for other than Spree, the only like I don't want to use the word like intelligent. That's a little lame of me. But there haven't been any like sturdy explorations of those sort of characters at all.
Right.
And so it's real interesting to me that the only time you could was back when it was still like alarming, basically.
Yeah. Right.
And that feels backwards in a way, doesn't it? Like it sounds
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
back,
yeah.
but that just is something that stood out to me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think this movie is I think it's kind of pretty ahead of its time because it's uh yeah, like it's exploring something that yeah, like people it's just like you know, especially like I guess young mass shooters and stuff like that's back then, you know, a lot of people weren't really like thinking about them that much. I mean, you know, people were affected by like Columbine, that type of stuff, but it wasn't really on a lot of people's minds and stuff. And nowadays, it's on like everybody's minds, especially like gun control debate and like there's a lot, you know,
Mhm.
mental health stuff and you know debates and things. And we have like shootings like every month and stuff in America, and so yeah, everybody thinks about it, but yeah, it's just interesting that yeah, that it was this long ago. Also, yeah, like we there hasn't really been that many movies or anything that has really tapped into the subject. You know, there's been like school shooting movies and stuff, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them aren't really character study type movies. A lot of them are kind of just a lot of art kind of films, like that don't really get into the characters, like Elephant or there's that Denis Vanille, that Polytechnique, which is based on a real event, but that it doesn't really explore anything. It just kind of just shows things happening. It doesn't really.
They take more of a maybe it's a little too broad to say, but sort of the or early Hanukkah. That's how it says, right? You say it right. Hanukkah, Miko
On
Hanukkah.
yeah, I'll say
of like
that.
Benny's video and
Uh-huh.
that sort of thing, where it very much leaves it up to the viewer. Yeah.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, and uh yeah, I just like because I watched the behind the scenes of this movie and stuff, and it's really interesting that it's just I think it's kind of cool and interesting how they made it back then, and uh because there's a lot of staging and stuff because uh to kind of like pull off the genuine home video quality stuff uh and uh yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. But uh I was gonna add something to the thing we are just talking about. I don't remember. But yeah, and what's interesting about this movie too is well, this I won't get into that. I will get into it later, but there's a lot of like weirdos that are into this movie that are probably definitely on a red flag list.
Mm.
Like there's comments that are like, wow, how bad, like this movie's badass.
I watched
And there's like people having it as a profile picture and stuff, and it's fun, but the besides that, it is interesting that there's a lot of people that do say that uh they not really related to the shooter, but they felt they
I
kind of liked them or felt connected or some had some sympathy or something. I don't
I
know.
saw that, like, you know what I'm talking, the poem thing.
Yeah.
I saw someone saying like it's actually like a really good poem,
Hmm.
and it's like I feel like I guess they sort of think the characters themselves are deep and not the movie. Whether or not the movie as a whole is deep, I mean, it's not. I don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think the characters are. I guess.
No.
Whatever.
I think too the movie, and I think it does a good job. It just presents it like in a blunt way as possible. Like it just seems realistic. Like we've seen Columbine, the other home videos. We've seen like videos that murderers have made, like Elliot Rodger and so like we've seen these people's videos, and it's funny too because this was made. I don't. This is what's interesting. I think this movie was made even before a lot of those Columbine videos even were released. Like there might have just been some clips on the news. Like I don't. And this movie, and this is way before all these like mass shootings and stuff, and it really captures how a lot of those videos feel, and also like how the shooters talk and stuff, and like, and it's pretty like act like it does a really accurate job. Besides, like that stuff wasn't released or anything, or that stuff never happened back then. So, um, uh, but yeah, I don't think this movie's actually deep, and I don't think it really went out its way to be deep. I know you said it wasn't deep, but like, yeah, I know there's some people that probably think it is, but I just think it's just a movie that presents everything as in the most authentic way as
Deep
possible.
doesn't automatically
With
mean good either.
no,
You
no,
know.
no, no, but it just kind of presents it in the most authentic way possible, like what would happen or what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, and that's what I like about the movie. The movie just has like um, there's no fluff. It's just very like blunt, straight to the point, and uh, yeah, uh, how and there's parts in this movie where I thought the actors did a really good job, but there's parts in it where you always could tell there's some amateurishness to it, but also uh um which I could get into because it's a huge part of the movie, where the ending of the movie switches up, and where it goes into the security camera footage, and I think the now it's funny because I watched this on YouTube, but I had to actually click off on YouTube the security camera footage because the person that uploaded it, uh, it was like all choppy and stuff, and so I'd actually
Mhm.
look for the scene, which was actually like clear and clean and stuff, uh, and the security camera footage. I think that's, uh, I think that is like that scene is very. I think it's really good. I think it's I almost use the word masterpiece, but I think it's almost like it is. It's funny. Is it what I like about it too is authenticity. There's nothing glamorous about it. It actually is very realistic. There's nothing very flashy. It's not. I mean, it's like what these shootings are in real life. They're not really like, there's nothing really cinematic. It's very like
They look very quiet.
dry, very
They're
dry.
quiet
Like
images.
there's nothing glamorous. There's nothing and I just like the authenticity, and I thought they did a really good job capturing it, and the way like people were like reacting and stuff, and like the everything like that I thought was really good. And when I first saw this movie a long time ago, it's funny because I put this movie on my most disturbing movies list or whatever,
Mm.
and I it's funny because watching it now, I wasn't even disturbed at all or anything. I think it's because I've seen this movie a couple times in the past, so I knew what I was getting into. But when I first saw this movie, it actually like the scene actually like emotionally affected me, and I almost got like bad. Like I couldn't. I watched this like when I was like before going to sleep, and I couldn't like go to sleep and stuff. I was like that. Like, I don't know. Like I almost like watched it like if I was like I knew it was fake, but I almost felt like it was real at the time. The first time I watched this, like I was like emotionally like affected by it and stuff. And it's
Mm.
what I like about it too. This is a critique which, and I watched I listened to bits of the commentary or on YouTube, and the director Ben makes a good point, which is something I've always thought of, which a lot of people in reviews critique about the scene is how the 911 operator is annoying or whatever, and he said that the reason why she's like, quote unquote annoying or like that is because that is he actually talked to a real 911 operator or like and or dispatcher or they call them, uh and she told him that that's in situations like that they would talk like that, and that they would do things like keep repeating the perpetrator, whoever's name, they would keep repeating it and stuff. Uh and so yeah, I just thought it was like realistic. And and that's the thing too, like it's annoying. It's like, well, none of the scene is none of it's supposed to be like entertainment, like something you get like a thrill out. It's supposed to
Yeah.
present everything in as realistic as possible. It's not supposed to be fun to watch. It's supposed to be honest. It's supposed to be honest as possible. It's not, there's nothing. That's why again, there's something glamorous about it. And uh, um, yeah, and so yeah, I think that scene's amazing. The way it was done and the way they pulled it off and stuff. And I think it's ballsy too because they filmed it in like a college, like and like I don't know, somewhere, I don't know where in the college, somewhere in the college. And I just thought it was ballsy that they let them shoot it there, film it
Yeah.
and stuff. And yeah, I also think this movie too that especially a long time ago when I discovered this movie, this is like one of the movies that sort of uh like I put this movie back then like up there with kind of like when I first saw like Clerks or the four movies were like so like Clerks, Bad Taste, Dark Star, John Carpenter's Dark Star, and this movie. These are like the four movies that really like kind of low budget movies that kind of inspired me and made me realize that I could like make anything like a low budget or whatever, and that you could make a good movie or even a funny movie or a deep movie or whatever, like just with like almost no money, just an
Yeah.
interesting movie with no money. And so
Mhm.
uh yeah, and uh so yeah, uh what so I asked you what did you think of the movie, but what did you think of the ending?
Um, I think it's a great ending. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good downer sort of ending.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that seems all that positive or
No.
uplifting. Maybe on paper, I guess. Maybe it could be considered that, I guess. But it's it reminds how like we'll talk about like Dylan Klebold and Eric
Yeah.
Harris
Yeah.
about like and most of the time the words we use to refer to them are like gay and annoying.
Yeah.
It's like it's like yeah, you know, nothing they don't inspire positivity and they themselves are seemingly incapable of it.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
And that's what's interesting about the like there's the fan base of there's a lot of people that think this is a great movie, but there's people that are fans of it just because of the school shooting, the edginess played, angle. And I think there were like I'm not even gonna say think. I'm pretty sure there's like school shooters that are fans of this movie and stuff. And it's really funny because like the ending to me, and that's one of the things I always stuck with this when always seen that scene, like or just watch this movie. Like I always got like a sadness from it. Like it's just so like sad. It's not even like cool or anything. There's people that say, "Oh, it's such a cool movie." It's like not really. It's fucking sad. It's like uh you almost feel too like that's why I think the way it ends with them blowing their brains, shooting themselves in the head, like I think it's perfect because it just shows like it's done in a realistic and not very glamorous way. It just it's just like I just think like, oh wow, like like pathetic or like just like sad, like really that's the way you're gonna go or whatever, you know it's uh yeah, that's what I really liked about it. I also like how the ending too. Uh, some people might say it's unnecessary, but I like that they added that extra little scene afterwards. The guys burning their crosses because it just shows that that like these guys that fucking hate them for obvious reasons, and that's just their legacy now. Like just like you know, they died for what? Like, just for people to pretty much like now, there's obviously probably gonna be people that are gonna glorify them, but it's just like, they're just fucking pieces of shit. Like that's
The
it. That's
general
your legacy.
consensus, yeah, yeah.
And that's why I think what's interesting about the movie that there's people that think it's cool or school shooters that like this movie, which I know they just like it because of the shooting scene, but I just think that's I, I guess that stuff has never like stuck with them when watching this movie. And
Mhm.
um uh yeah. Um Also I want to say too that even though they aren't Eric and Dylan, uh they I mean they're obviously supposed to represent them, and I think they both do like a great job like capturing them, the essence of them.
Mhm. Yeah,
Especially Cal captures Dylan Klebold's vibe so well. Even the
he's
way
the
he
poet.
talks and stuff.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
even Andre, the Eric Harris, like his whole like nerdy, weird, like, military type obsession and like taking things seriously. And even that scene at the end where like he saw how he wore a JC Penney shirt, he got bullied. He's like, "This is a stupid fucking shirt." Like the way he said it, he perfectly captures Eric. That's how he talks. This is a stupid fucking shirt. Like, and
That's
yeah,
great. Yeah. They're young.
yeah. No, I don't know
Mhm.
how old the actor that played Andre, but I looked up the actor that played Cal. He was like 14, 15 in this movie.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's way younger. I think they're both way younger than their characters in this movie. But and Cal, the actor, has been in other things. He was actually in I don't know who he played. He was in Andrew in The Sopranos, in an episode of
Mm.
The Sopranos. Let me see. The Sopranos, Andrew. I want to see if um they have a Google image. No. I wonder if he's like in like the school or something in the background. I don't know. But um yeah, let's see. Uh oh yeah, I also okay, so I was getting my notes. I think it's interesting that there's a lot of people that think the shooting scene is actually like real Columbine footage, which
Hmm.
is funny to me because it's obviously not like, well, here's the thing, like if you know anything about it, there's only security cameras in the cafeteria or whatever. That's why there's like the only footage that
Well,
exists.
there's them of them coming into the hall, isn't it? Not
That's
to nitpick
no, that's part
Columbine
of the
footage.
cafeteria
Oh,
thing.
is it?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's a part of the cafeteria, I think. But there's and to uh what was I gonna say and also like the way the shooting, how it's not calling, like it doesn't match up. Also, like it says literally, it says May 2001 or something, so it's not
Hmm.
Columbine. And their characters are named Andre and Cal. But a lot of the people I think that fall for it are people that are kind of like really young and they don't know
Sure.
anything about Columbine. They just heard about it, and so they're like, "What?" There's a lot of YouTube videos like real footage, and it's like, no, it's not real footage. And so, um, yeah, I just think that's funny. And I've read things where people said that uh, back then, like that the scene would always be on like shock sites like Live Leak and stuff, and they would say like real school shooting. There's a lot of people that believed it.
It's
And
funny that like people are so desperate to see it that they'll like,
yeah,
yeah,
but it's funny because we can watch videos now of like there's shooters that have live streamed themselves shooting people.
yeah.
So yeah,
Really,
it's
they're
just,
just, avant-garde filmmakers
yeah,
that are very committed to their art.
yeah. Wasn't I know that I think it was the Buffalo shooter live stream himself, but what I think is funny is in his manifesto, I think he put his picture as himself, or he said it was him. It was just a picture of Sam Hyde.
Oh my God, this world is
So he was
awful.
using the Sam Hyde in his manifesto.
Jesus.
It's
That is so upsetting and funny. That makes me sick to my stomach and really happy.
yeah, yeah, but I've never watched any of those videos. I don't, because I know there's in New Zealand. I don't have interest in watching. I don't.
Because they're in.
I've looked up things for like more curiosity and stuff. I have, but like those type of stuff, I don't really like want to see. I don't know. I don't feel a need to ever like watch those videos.
I've
ever.
caught like clips on Discord because of memes or something, but I don't like to seek that out. I don't
Yeah.
need that negativity.
Yeah.
There's already enough that I ingest willingly through art
Yeah.
that I like. So,
Yeah. I'm one of those people too. Like I just don't like a lot of people are like it's some weird like thing where it's like I have to see it to like it's bad, but to like have some sort of comfort where I'm like I know it's bad and just to see it. But I don't really have that. Like I have seen people I've seen videos of people getting killed and stuff, but I don't know. Like and it's funny when I see those videos, it's like, well, yeah, that's what I expected to happen. Like I don't really have like I just assume what it is, what's gonna happen, so I don't really need to see it. Some people are like that. So I think it's like people's brains are different. Like a lot of people have to actually see something in order to know for sure. Like their brains just can't conceptualize. They just have to. I don't know. People's brains are different, but uh, yeah. So I also thought too. Like I think it was ballsy about this movie too is that their parents are like on board acting in it and stuff, and
that's
like
cool.
they did a good job, like actually and
Mm,
stuff. Yeah, like yeah. Well, a lot of the scenes, I think it was just like, oh, so and so's like, having a party. Let's just film there and like just just act like yourselves and just how we usually do or whatever. And so
yeah.
yeah, uh, and uh, let's see. Oh yeah, this is a movie I remember a long time ago that Tumblr girls used to simp over the guy that played Cal in this movie. Or Cal. I'm sorry, the guy who played Cal is Cal. But yeah, there's a Tumblr girls that used to like simp over that
He's,
guy, and there still
he's
is.
a cute kid.
Yeah, but
As
there's
actually,
like 27-year-old women that are simping over him,
yeah.
and Andre and stuff like they're like, oh, they're so
Has
cute.
some has someone made the uh shitty Red Scare joke yet where it's like the Columbine shooters are these guys and it's like Anna and Dasha?
No,
The next one.
there should be
It feels
a
like that should have happened when that was big.
yeah, there should have been maybe like a what do you call it, like a face app filter where it's like their faces mixed in.
Yeah. Best like branding ever, that meme. Cause it's like whenever I see anyone with like pretty much just darker hair and fairer hair, I immediately think Anna and Dasha.
Yeah.
Like I don't know like anything else really like that other than like two little circles on top of a big circle. I think Mickey Mouse. It's like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Mickey Mouse. Uh oh yeah, I forgot too that the guy that made this wrote the script for the place or he's a co-writer on the place beyond the pines, which is interesting.
Really
Yeah,
interesting. I got his thing pulled
you
up
should
now.
watch that. That's like one of those movies that people either like really like it or hate it. I like it. It's a pretty
It's an epic.
bonkers movie, but
Would you call it an epic?
it's no, there's a lot that happens in it. It's kind of it gets pretty like intense, I guess. It's a thriller that has so many fucking twists and turns, and you're just like, what the fuck? It's one of those movies.
I see. Damn, this sucks. He hasn't done much.
No, and I've seen interviews with him, like videos of him, and he's like a
He
really
sounds
like goofy dude.
really.
He's like, yeah. He kind of reminds me of Tarantino almost the way he acts. But he's like, yeah, yeah. He almost reminds me of Nardwar. He talks exactly like Nardwar. You see videos of him, and also too, which makes me feel like shit. I think he was like exactly my age when he made this movie.
Mm.
Yeah. So, You know what scene made me uncomfortable though is the dentist scene because I had braces for a long time when I was younger and it gave me PTSD flashbacks.
Mm. I hear that.
And I thought that was interesting too. The one in the dentist him getting the braces.
Mm.
I wonder if they like were ever told what movie they were gonna be in. The dentist.
That is interesting. It always sort of is interesting, any movie that does like the sort of like found footage style thing, or I guess real like documentaries or whatever, but like especially narrative things where I wonder like how much someone was told to get them to participate in something. Cause like I don't know. I wonder if having a camera there already has much of an effect. Because the psychology behind someone like randomly engaging in like the creation of a piece of art is very interesting to me. I sound like a dipshit saying that, but it's true. And I always wonder why someone does it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to I forgot to mention this.
Mhm.
And the scene that cracks me up, that's in the shooting scene. And I love that the guy that just yells, "Fuck you!" or runs off. I just love that.
Mm.
And I like that guy. He just is like, "Fuck you," and it's like, and they were like, like fucking, it's like surprised. They're like, "Oh, okay." uh, I also like that too. Just seemed realistic, like the whole, just the guy's like the way he said it, the reaction and stuff, and uh, uh, also too that uh, they also at the ending when they're burning the crosses. I like the guys that are burning the crosses. These like real New York guys.
Mm.
I don't remember what they said, but they're like, "Burn, baby, burn, fucking punks," or whatever. And they had that kind of tone.
Yeah.
I love me some New York guys.
You mess
Oh,
with one of us, you mess with all. Whenever I think of like 9/11, like New Yorker types,
yeah.
I immediately think of the character in Spider-Man.
I mean,
Where,
I think of like Jim Norton and Spider-Man.
mm, mm, yeah, you mess with one of us, Green Goblin, you mess with all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoy the Osama bin Laden Green Goblin connection.
Yeah, that's what's funny because when I was younger, I didn't make the connection, obviously, but like when I got older, I was like, wait a minute, like it's so on the nose. It's supposed to be a 9/11 reference. Yeah.
Mm.
Um. Oh, you know what was interesting was Andre's like parents. I looked up because I couldn't figure out what Andre was. I So he has a German last name, which makes sense because his dad. Because I was like, why do the parents seem like they seem like foreigners, or whatever, when they're talking? And
Mm.
yeah, like his dad was like super like German. I almost thought he sounds slightly Jewish. So I was wondering if he's a German Jew, but yeah, I don't know, I just thought that was interesting. That uh that like his parents are foreigner because you don't see that a lot and you don't see that a lot in like movies but also too like they didn't like make an announcement or anything about it or he never talked about it in the movie. They just were you know foreigners
Mm.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. Uh, let's see. Let me see. Uh, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about this movie? Um,
Um, I think that there should be someone should make a film as a I think there should be a hoax. We haven't had a great like hoax in a while, I think.
right.
And I think we need a hoax school shooting movie. I think that would be
Yeah,
cool.
like one where it's not even really advertised or like even as a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing too. Like, and also this movie, I forgot to mention when this came out, they had made like a fake website for it, like the
That
Blair
is
Witch.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
like
it's
that.
real, and
I like any movie that like snakes into reality. I can't
yeah,
help but get a little excited by that. At least when it's done in like an interesting or at least just funny way.
right, yeah, and so that's the thing too. Like, I don't know if you could get away. I guess you could get away. Well, no, not really. Like, you could make a
Not
hoax school shooting, but people would just look it up and be like, ah, that didn't happen.
mm,
So I
yeah.
don't know if you could get away with the unless you like edit Wikipedia and stuff nonstop, like it did happen, a fake
Mhm.
Wikipedia page. But yeah, I back then that's why this movie probably worked better because you had internet, but a lot of people didn't use it that much. And uh, I was gonna say something about that. But oh yeah, I think this movie like there's been so many actually at this point so many fucking school shooting movies. I do think that this is like the like uh I'm saying you could make I guess you could make like a technically a better movie or whatever. And I actually enjoyed I think I enjoy like the dirties more than this, but at the same time
I gotta see the
I think
dirties.
Zero Day is still like technically like kind of a better movie on this topic though.
In what
Uh
way? Like why
Well,
specifically
okay,
this?
so the Dirties, it's a school shooting movie, but it doesn't really like if you're just looking at that, it's not that great because it's there's other things going on in it. It's not really it doesn't really analyze school shooter. It just and also without giving it away, but the shooting scene's not as impactful really. I mean, it's good in a different way, but in terms of just a look at these shooters. It's not that type of movie really. Um, it's the Dirties is like better as like it's a better like kind of like it's not a thriller movie really. I mean, it kind of is sort of. It's not a thriller as in there's a lot of like thrilling things going on. It's more of a movie like where it's building up to something you don't know what's going to happen, kind of
Hmm.
thing. But uh, it's also like it does it kind of has slight commentary on like uh murders and stuff, but it's not so much. It is a school shooting, but it is like more than that. There's a lot of other things going on in it and stuff. Like this movie in particular is more of a strictly like look at these like killers and all the build up to the final day kind of thing. Like the Dirties has more going on. It's more of like a fictional like movie kind of and
Sure.
um yeah, and
Film
so
commits.
but I just kind of enjoy that, a bit more. I mean, I have to rewatch the Dirties again, but I enjoy that one a bit. I might enjoy it a bit more, but that's easy to say because that one's more of a regular movie, while this is like way harder to watch in terms of just strictly entertainment value. And but I think this movie's technically better in a way. And uh, and I think Zero Day. I think this is like the definitive school shooting movie. I don't think you can really make another like. I don't really know how you can make a movie that's better, but I don't know if you can make one that's in terms of authenticity and stuff like any. I mean, like I don't know. I don't know how you can like outdo this movie. Really, it just kind of, especially even like Columbine based movies. Like this is the best Columbine based movie. Like it's or inspired or whatever movie. And I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. It just kind of it's like the definitive one. I don't know. Even nowadays, like I don't think you can make a movie that is more authentic or more. I don't know. I just don't know how you can outdo it. I think like Zero Day. It just ends with Zero Day. I think it just kind of. Do you think you can make a movie exactly like this or something like? Do you think you can make like a movie that's more authentic or could outdo this movie?
Um, I mean, I'm closer to high school, I guess, than um, what was his name? The director's name? Ben. What?
It's like an Italian name. It's
Ben.
Cochio, Ben Co
Gucci.
Cochio. I say it
Big
like
Gucci Ben.
Japanese. It's not.
Um,
Or
I
is it? No,
don't know. Is he
it's
Japanese?
Italian. I'm pretty sure it's Italian. Let's
Yeah,
look it up.
look it up.
Kochi
What was your
surname.
question?
Do you think you can make a movie that can outdo this in terms of authenticity
And
and
just in terms of authenticity, I mean,
you could make
cons-
another movie, but it's gonna probably be like exactly the same, almost. I don't know.
you feel that you can make that?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be somewhat similar. I just don't know if you could make a better. No, I thought of something now. You could make a better movie if this is how you do it.
Yeah.
It's fictitious. It's like a regular movie,
Hmm.
that it has the same exact type story where it goes through, the build up, the blah 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 blah, their problems, blah blah blah. But the shooting scene has to be you'd have to make it a cross between it would have to be a cross between the beginning of Saving Private Ryan with
Hmm.
that like that level of like intensity and realism. Also, it would have to be like similar to the shootout scene in Heat. When they use there's like no music and they use the like real gun audio. It's like really loud and stuff.
Hmm.
That's the way that's like the only way you can do it. Like where it's just like you put yourself like, you know, in that like during that moment and the fucking it would have to be like fucked up, like realistic, like the way they people get shot, like fucking realistic shit.
Very come and see. Come and see is kind of the
Come and
holy
see,
grail of like
yeah, come
realistic
and see. It would have to be
mass.
like that, where it's just like it goes
I
on, and you're like, that's why I said Saving Private Ryan, like that opening, like something like that, where it just puts you
Yeah.
in there and you're just fucking, uh, and that's the only way I think you could do it. Also, the movie would have to be like by a really good
Yeah,
director,
there's
like
not a
a
lot of directors
craftsman.
that could
Have you
stand up
seen
to
Michael Haneke made a mass
them off.
shooting movie? He made that 71 fragments of chronological truth or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
I haven't seen that one. That's kind of his more underrated one, isn't it?
I own it actually. I
Oh yeah.
it's all right. It's an
Mm.
interesting movie. I uh that
Didn't
movie it's not amazing, but the shooting scene is pretty good. Like that's pretty like realistic the way it's
I've
done and
seen
stuff.
the
And it's
clips from
actually
that.
based
It's
off of
just
a shooting in like Austria a long time
hmm.
ago. I think that's what it's based off
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And I think that is if you want, I think that's the director you pick for this type of movie.
if he
Almost.
helms like some of his stuff veers into found footage. He's certainly got a hard on for like how things are like filmed, like how people process things through like news media, etc. How that's like one of the main, maybe the central point of his career to some extent, depending on how you look at it, the way people take in violence, if not just violence itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously he would be a key contender that, and he's just a tight director. Like he knows where to put a camera, you know.
Right.
Um
Okay. Oh yeah. So
I would
Ben's
make it better. I could make it better. Go on.
okay. But Ben's last name is Italian, which I was assuming. But also Ben, this is weird. He narrated
I
part
saw.
five Civilization 5 game. But he
Why?
only narrated like a part of the game. I
He doesn't
played
have
I
what?
remember playing I played the like old ass Civilization on an emulator a long time ago, but also I think I played those games at my mom's friend's house when I was like a kid. But uh oh, that's interesting. But like a part because the game is like they're like split into like parts or whatever, and yeah, he just narrated a part of the game, which is funny and like he has a weird career. Like, how does he get all these? He just kind of doesn't do anything but gets these opportunities. It's like that.
Mm,
Yeah. What were you saying? What were you saying you could make a better movie?
yeah, that's a lie. But I mean, I could do it.
Yeah.
I'm young enough, and
I
I'm
haven't. I have. I'm not gonna reveal it, but I do have a. It would have to be a kind of a big budget. Well, not really. It'd have to be a medium sized budget. I have an
mm,
idea for a movie uh that's not really like a mass shooting or school shooting movie or anything like that. It's not really, but it involves it, but it's not really about one. I'm not really going to talk about it here, but because it's too juicy of an idea. But
that's
yeah.
very exciting. I'm so pissed off at you for not like following through on that one movie.
Which one? There's too many.
I know.
Yeah.
Scorpio.
Oh yeah. 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 I don't
Mm.
know. I mean, I might, one of these days, continue it. I don't know.
I
I
can't
don't know.
blame you because I've been working on a short, like 9 minute thing for the past
Well, this is the thing too.
6 months.
I would continue it. I wouldn't mind doing it again, but I would have to just reshoot like everything. You
You
know?
have shot stuff, right?
Yeah, but I would have to reshoot it. 'Cause I don't like the
Yeah.
footage. That's what I would do. Uh, I just don't. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't have. There's two things. Like I don't have. I don't. I'm sounding like James Rolfe now. I was gonna say I don't have time. I do have time, but I don't. I'd rather put my time in other things. And also, I'm at a point where yeah, I would like to make a movie or whatever, but I'm not. It's not even like the focal point anymore, really. Like I'm just like whatever. If it happens, it
What are you
happens.
more interested in, artistically or otherwise?
Um. Uh. I don't know. Uh. Probably. That's the thing too. Like my view has art and stuff have changed because when I was younger, I was all about like, and I filmed a lot of stuff when I was younger. Um. Uh. And like all my like old short films and sketches, that's all from like high school. and back. Like, and I that's all I was into. And I was like, I'm gonna make the movie. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna and but now I that's not even that could still happen and stuff, but I don't really care anymore. Like I don't know, like just whatever happens happens. But I okay, so then when I was younger, like late teens, I stopped. I kind of got into like music and stuff, but the issue was I was like making um like like not comedy. Well, it was kind of comedy music, but like fucking like meme rap. Like I was listening like little I was in like Lil B and 3 Pac and stuff. That's the type of stuff I was making. And I was like doing me and my friends did it. It was kind of like half like, "Ah, this is funny," half, "Oh, we actually like this kind of thing." And
Mm-hmm.
I did that and then I stopped because I was like, "This is stupid. Like I'm not gonna do this forever." Like uh and and then I went back to like making regular YouTube videos, and then uh yeah, and so now uh I don't really have like a main thing anymore. I'm just kind of like doing whatever. Now when it comes to art, my main thing now is pretty much like I've recorded more music more than I've actually written scripts, which is funny because I still uh prefer cinema over music, but I am really I just don't like writing scripts and stuff. I
You
don't
don't.
really like writing stories, really. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, I like coming up with stories, but I don't actually like writing them.
I can understand that, though I
Yeah,
find it different.
yeah, like I don't really like the art of write constructing stories and stuff, really. I'm into my main thing I'm like really into though, is like visual art stuff. Like it could be video, but like photos and graphic design. And I'm gonna start
Mhm.
painting and stuff. I'm actually not gonna release as much or like post as much art because I'm actually gonna be selling the stuff and like on like fucking like shops across the state and stuff because uh well I've talked to people but also like I have people there's people I know like my also like my sister and stuff that have like sold art to people and stuff, so I might sell art in like those shops and stuff that they have. Um so yeah, I'm probably gonna get into that. And yeah, I meant more into like mostly like I would just say which is vague in general visual art. I mean, you could put video and film in that too, but yeah, that's but like more strictly that, like not so much like narrative film or anything. Like more just visual art as like just visuals and things like that.
Do you like video art, like in the traditional
Yeah,
sense?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Also like I view I view art and like the way I view art now is very different. And I think it's actually almost more mature way. Because when I was younger, I was like I put it on this like pedestal and like it's better than everything and everything's like below or everything had like a ranking, not just art, but just like fucking uh work, math, fucking I don't know, fucking food, or, just fucking stupid shit like that. And I would like rank things, but now I'm more mature and I don't really rank everything. And I also this sounds
Mhm.
like kind of pretentious, but I view almost everything like I do, or like I view everything almost as like art in a way. So like experiences and things, and so like I think the way I
Everything's
dress
a
or like
creation that can be explored.
yeah, and also too, like I don't view everything as necessarily art, but I view everything in the same ranking or the same bucket as art. Like it's
Right.
kind of that's why very related really hard to like like what Vince Gallo said, where he said like like when he does makes movies, he just views it as the same as like work or whatever. That he like making a movie is like no difference in painting a fence. That sounds really weird, but that's kind of how I view things too, where I don't uh
That's
like
how all the great anybody does their thing, really.
yeah, like I think like even yeah, uh uh yeah, and so that's kind of how I view things, and I have like other interests and stuff, and so everything's all kind of the same to me, and so I don't really care how creative I am or how much money I'm making off of the thing. I do everything for like experience now, so and I don't really try to think about things too hard anymore, and
Mhm.
so yeah. Also, if I am going to be writing a script soon or filming something, it's going to be something like that's going to come out pretty quick. Like it's going to be something I wrote like in a day or something like that. I'm not going to do the whole
A Fassbender
planning.
project, sure.
I'm not going to do the whole planning thing anymore. Like where I'm like, oh, I'm going to do on this day and this day. No, I'm not going to do that anymore. It's going to be like in one sitting if I'm going to do something. I think there is
Like,
going to be something one of these days, but I'm kind of so detached from my ego now that I don't really care if it ever happens. Like I'm fine with it. Like uh I have other things in life I like look forward to and stuff. So as well. So I don't know. Things might something might happen one of these days, I'm not sure. I don't really think about um my future that much. I do think about it vaguely, but I try not to really think about it as deep as possible because uh that's when I become depressed and start limiting myself. And yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen even tomorrow. So I don't know. But yeah, 0 day. Yeah, I like 0 day. Hang on, went on a little tangent, but yeah, because I want to like wrap this up soon because I have to get up early tomorrow. But uh, yeah, do you have anything else to say? Maybe not even about 0 day. Maybe like some other thing or like movies or art or whatever.
um, uh, it's great that you're in that place, and I think that from now on, like, what you make for me, I really would love to see a feature from you personally.
Yeah,
Whatever it is, I think it'll be I think you're gonna be a stronger artist specifically because, it's not about the ego thing for you. It's not, I wanna make a
right.
album or a movie that has my name stamped on it. It's
Right,
more,
yeah, and
I
that's the
wanna
thing
make
too, like,
it.
all those and that's the thing, like, I'm so open that I don't scrap any of my projects or ideas. They're still there, and there's a lot of stuff that shows up, like, years later, like, even, like, this fucking podcast. I had
Mhm,
fucking this idea, like, years before I even like, in high school. I never did it, but I finally did it. Like, it's kinda I never scrap anything. It's just like, "Oh, it might happen." Like, we'll see. I do feel bad, though, because there's a lot of people I did plan things with, and I never followed through, and,
that
uh,
sucks.
there's a lot of
Sucks
people
when
that
that
have
happens.
stopped talking to me, I think, because of that. Um,
Mhm.
and which I understand, but, uh, I mean, they've also done the same thing to me with other things I wanted to do things with them, but, uh, you know, and
That shit
so
gets messy, I'm sure.
yeah, and so yeah, like, I have an album, like, I've been recording it out, but I haven't really released, I'm not even I'm halfway done with it yet, but it's gonna see the light of day eventually. But I'm not forcing anything. That's the thing. I just don't want to force anything. I just don't want to write something that's
There's
just
no point
because.
really.
Yeah, I'd rather not make the movie if I have to forcefully do everything. Like
Yeah.
just force something out. Yeah. Like, and so that's the problem too. Like, and that's how I knew. Like, there's scripts you don't even know exist. I started writing. I had these amazing ideas in my head. I started writing it. I'm like, this is fucking gay. Like fuck
Yeah, that happens
and,
too
and I think that's a
sometimes.
good thing. I think that's a good thing. I have that self-awareness, or like fuck that, like, and I think that's a good thing. And also, like, I'm somebody, I always said this, that everything happened, like everything's supposed to happen as it is. So I think that it's a good thing I never made a movie yet. I think it's a good thing in a way. Like, and so
Yeah, there's no point in
rushing,
jumping the gun on
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think also too, like, I think there's more than life than just making a movie. So yeah, uh, it's not a huge deal. Like I'm also like fine now, like just even being like talking about movies rather than making something. Like I'm actually like fine with it, like just doing that.
That's great. That's where I strive to really be, I guess, in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, I gotta sell my fucking. I have a lot of like clothes around my house I designed and stuff that I don't wear because I intentionally don't wear that stuff. But I have to sell that stuff because that just fucking collects dust. But in
Mm.
boxes and shit. But yeah, I might get into like clothes. I really want to get in. You know, what I want to get into more than anything though.
Mm.
Anything is
Mm.
like photography, like
Oh my
fucking
god, yeah, I feel
models
that.
shit. Not even just models, but like fucking like the closest thing I've done so far with that stuff is I filmed I've done a lot of photo edits of people, but I filmed that concert that my stepsister was in. I filmed that, which is like the closest the kind of what I want to do, even though like not just photos but video too. Like I want to like film more like concerts and things like that. And yeah, I just want to like film like films or like take pictures of like, fucking like you know, I sound so gay saying this. Indie sleaze like type, not even just that type of shit, but like fucking Vice mag, like that skateboarding magazine type shit. Like I'm just taking pictures of like fucking crazy parties or like people with like fucked up fucking broken teeth or like fucking
You want to get into your Nan Golden era.
yes, like fucking people like fucking you know weird sex and like not even just that, like I want to even like photograph people in like beautiful ways and like interesting, like that's the stuff I want to do. I don't want to do the fucking professional photographer thing or like the oh here's a, even though I would do that, some of that stuff, like I would take pictures of like landscapes and stuff, which I've done, but you know I don't, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in like the fucking you know
You're interested in realism, though, right?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, kind of like extreme realism. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yep, and that's why I probably like 0 day. But uh yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. My computer's about to die. But
I have to piss so bad.
okay. Alright. Well,
Um,
that's been a review of 0 day and yeah, and a discussion of art and stuff. So thanks for listening.
thank you, folks. Good night.
Alright. Well, go pee.
All right. I'll see you or
Alright.
whatever. Bye
See
bye.
ya.